I wrote the cleanest code of my career. Typed, documented, every function had one job. My senior dev friend said it was the best thing I'd ever written. 3 weeks later, it crashed a client's store on Black Friday, and a lawyer called me at 2:47 a.m.
And here's what makes this story more dangerous in 2025. I wrote every single line myself. Now imagine the same scenario, but 70% of that codebase was generated by Cursor or Claude Code. The bug doesn't disappear, it multiplies. Because AI writes clean-looking code faster than any developer ever could. It just doesn't know it's Black Friday. This video is about that story. But if you think this is about one developer making a rookie mistake, you're going to miss the actual point. The real problem isn't the bug. The real problem is that the tutorials that taught him, and probably taught you too, are optimizing for the wrong thing. Clean code is not the same as production-ready code. If that's controversial to you right now, good, it should be. By the end of this video, you'll understand the 4 things that separate code that survives the real world from code that just survives a code review. Stay until the end because the last one is the thing nobody teaches, and it's the one that would have saved everything. Joaquin is a freelance Python developer, self-taught, 2 years in, good with Django, comfortable with Salt Alchemy, learned everything from YouTube tutorials and online courses. Sound familiar? He lands a $2,000 gig, rewrite an inventory synchronization script for a small e-commerce store. The original was written by the client's nephew. Look at this. Be honest with yourself. What's your first instinct? It's ugly. It's a mess. No type hints, no documentation, variable names like x, data2, and I'm not making this up, temp_final_real. Joaquin looks at this and thinks exactly what you'd think. I can do so much better than this. And he does. Genuine satisfaction. This code actually was good. Every model is clean. Every relationship is explicit. Every function has one job. He writes a README, his friends review it, they love it. The client receives it and says, this looks so much more professional than what my nephew wrote. Simple, final, almost happy. $2,000, delivered, done. Joaquin goes to sleep. 3 weeks later. The store goes from 50 concurrent users on a normal Saturday to over 800. For the first 40 minutes, everything's fine. Then, the site goes down. Not slow, not degraded, down. They lose their entire monthly revenue in under 4 hours. That wasn't just numbers. That was payroll. That was rent. That was the Christmas inventory they'd already ordered. The client calls Joaquin. Joaquin calls his hosting provider. The hosting provider pulls the logs. And what they find is where this story gets interesting. Thousands of individual SQL queries in the span of a single second, all saying the same thing. Select star from products where ID equals question mark. Over and over, one per product, for every single item in the catalog. This is called the N+1 query problem, and it is one of the most dangerous bugs in backend development because it is completely invisible in a tutorial environment. Here's exactly what happened. The nephew's original script had one ugly raw SQL query. One query, one round trip to the database, returns everything, done. Joaquin replaced that with beautifully typed Alchemy models, clean relationships, perfect abstractions. But here's what SQL Alchemy does by default. It's called lazy loading. Lazy loading means don't load related data until I specifically ask for it. Which sounds smart until you loop over 500 products and access product.category for each one. That's not one query, that's 501 queries. The benchmark. Almost unbelievable, but real. PlanetScale published a benchmark on this exact pattern. One join query, 14 milliseconds. The N+1 version, over 1,000 milliseconds. Same data, same result. 70 times slower. With 50 users, you never notice. With 800 concurrent users, each triggering hundreds of queries, your connection pool fills up, requests queue. The queue fills up, the server rejects everything. That's the 500 error. That's the crash. That's the lawyer at 2:47 a.m. Here's where most people stop and say, oh, Joaquin used lazy loading, rookie error, case closed. That's wrong. Go back to the nephew's messy code. Look at what Joaquin ignored because he was focused on how it looked. Right there, database indexes on product ID and category ID, connection timeout settings tuned for high traffic, retry logic for database overload. Joaquin didn't delete those on purpose. He deleted them because he didn't know they were there. He was reading the code like a style guide, not like a documentation of a working system. And if I'm being honest, I would have made the exact same mistake at that stage of my career. I've shipped code like this before, code that looked beautiful in review. Code that would have collapsed under real traffic. The problem wasn't Joaquin's skill. The problem is that tutorials trained him to optimize for the wrong metric. There are 4 layers to backend development that matter in production. Tutorials show you layer 1. The real world punishes you for ignoring the other three.
Pillar 1. The code. Clean code is only 25% of the job. That's the uncomfortable thing nobody says out loud in any tutorial. Not because they're lying to you, because 25% is still a lot, and it looks great on camera. You can zoom in on it, screenshot it, put it on a slide. But a function that fires 500 unnecessary database queries is not a clean function. It just looks like one. The tutorials taught Joaquin to make code that reads well. Nobody taught him to make code that runs under pressure. Pillar 2. The data. Before I explain this, watch. The fix for Joaquin's bug is literally one word. The disaster, default SQL Alchemy lazy loading. Query all products, then loop, access product.category.name. New query every single time. The fix, import select inload, then query with that option. Select inload. 501 queries becomes 2. This is the line Joaquin needed. He had the knowledge to write it. He'd used SQL Alchemy before. He just didn't know the default was silently loading him into a disaster. And this isn't just SQL Alchemy, by the way. Django's ORM, Rails Active Directory, Laravel's Eloquent. Different names, same trap, same crash. Now, understanding your data layer also means knowing what an index does. Here's the analogy. Imagine a library with 1 million books and no catalog system. A librarian has to read every book to find the one you want. An index is the catalog. You go directly to shelf 7, row 3. The number, simple, no exaggeration. IBM documented a real production case where one missing index took a query from 7,000 milliseconds to 200 milliseconds. Not a rewrite, not a server upgrade, one index. Pillar 3. Observability. Joaquin spent 2 hours on the phone with his hosting provider. 2 hours. Trying to understand why 800 people broke his perfectly working code. The answer was in the logs the entire time. Except there were no logs. 85% less time detecting outages. That's the difference between teams that have proper observability and teams that don't. Not 10%, not 20, 85%. If Joaquin had one log line in development, just this, executing 487 queries for product sync, duration 8,432 milliseconds, he would have seen the problem before Black Friday, not during it, not at 2:47 a.m. Observability isn't a senior dev luxury. It's table stakes the moment someone else depends on your code. Pillar 4. Context. No one asked Joaquin, when is this store under maximum stress? Not the client. Not the tutorial that taught him SQL Alchemy. Not the YouTube video that showed him how to write clean models. So he delivered a system built for Tuesday at 2 p.m. And the store needed a system built for midnight on Black Friday. The numbers, real context, no exaggeration. Black Friday 2025 generated $11.8 billion in US online sales in a single day. Costco crashed in 2019 and lost an estimated $10.9 million in 16 hours because their infrastructure couldn't handle peak load. Context isn't a business problem, it's an engineering problem. And now, remember what I said at the start. Joaquin wrote every line himself. Now imagine the same codebase, 70% AI generated. Cursor writes clean-looking code, fast, confident, beautifully structured. It just doesn't know it's Black Friday. The N+1 problem doesn't disappear with AI-assisted development. It multiplies because the velocity goes up, but the understanding of the underlying system doesn't. The lawyer called at 2:47 a.m. That's where we started. Here's where this story ends. No lawsuit. The client didn't sue. But there was no second contract, no referral. Just 3 months of anxiety that cost Joaquin nothing and everything at the same time. Joaquin wasn't a bad developer. He was a skilled developer with an incomplete mental model. One that tutorials built for him, one beautiful function at a time. Tutorials show you code in a vacuum. No real traffic, no connection limits, no Black Fridays. They teach you to write code for an audience of reviewers, not for an audience of 800 concurrent users at midnight in November. If you don't design your queries for scale, scale will design your failures for you. The gap between tutorial code and production code isn't about intelligence. It's about exposure. Exposure to load. Exposure to failure. Exposure to a system that doesn't care how clean